Yeah.
Welcome to the Material Girl podcast. We've got our special headliner guest here, Jojo Sutherland. We're the witches of Eastwick.
Headliner and heads. Head
witch.
Yeah, head witch.
Head witch.
That is a good title. But we're just sitting here chatting away about how they were at a roast battle last night.
Yeah.
And I've never done a roast battle because I'm a shite bag.
I've asked you to. I
refuse point blank to do
Do
them.
you not do them, Jojo?
Absolutely not.
Right.
Definitely not. So, so the only time I've ever done one was Altitude Comedy Festival, and Brett Vincent said we all had to do it. So we were all, and I was like, Brett, don't make me do it. I think they're awful.
Aye.
They're really genuinely, they make my skin crawl. I don't want to do them. And he was like, everybody has to do it. And I was like,
Who are you up against?
So but then he went, you'll be up against Ryan Cullen. And I was like, oh, fucking let me at let me at him. So it's the only roast battle I've ever done is against Ryan, and it was fun, but it was in another country. But no, I wouldn't. I'll judge them, happily judge them.
Yeah, what were the exchanges given each other? Can you remember?
Did you win?
Oh, there was some absolute. Well, with me and Ryan, I won the first round. He won the second round.
Right, done it like
and
that.
it was really, really close. And honestly, I ran out of stuff for the third round, but he cheated because he had people writing for him. At least I did all my own.
For a roast?
He had Gareth Ward, Daniel Sloth, everybody writing for him, and I was like, that's cheating. So I win on being a purist and doing my own material.
Aye.
I've never done one before because I feel like do you know what? I'll tell you as well, right? I could probably do you, Amanda, but I feel like I don't know MD well enough to do it.
I think the best ones are when you know that the people really like each other.
Aye.
So there was the one that was on TV, Mark Steele and Elliot, his son.
Aye.
And they were absolutely vicious, but you just
It's
knew
the family.
that,
There's no
father and
holds
son,
barred.
you could see the love, and you can't. But with some people, you go, this is awkward.
Yeah.
This is
Either
really
like actually really want to upset this person.
Yeah.
Who would be your who would be your ideal roast partners? Like if you had to pick two people against each other,
What you'd want to watch?
you'd want to watch. I've
Well,
got
I
two in
don't know.
mind. I
I've never
better not say it.
Just say it. I didn't ask the question, then no answer.
Well, when Bruce Devon and I used to do the podcast, it'd be like, guess who don't sue, and then he'd immediately say who he was talking about. I'd love, actually, I don't know, I'm not brave enough because Bruce would wipe the floor with me, but I reckon me and Bruce Devon having a roast battle would be
Fun.
That would be vicious. I
it
think
would be absolutely vicious.
that would be, but in a good, like the way that Mark and his dad. Elliot and his dad, Mark.
Well, I was up against Mark Black. That was my third one. Before I'd battled Crystal and Ray Brogan. So we're friendly.
Aye.
They bet me, but me and Mark are friendly, and I bet him. I was just like so delighted to win one. I was like, I've won one finally.
I know, but do you see the thing is, it was that his first one. Aye, you're like yes,
So
like it felt like a wee
Well, but though I gave him plenty.
fodder.
Aye,
No, he had some absolute
really
zingers.
good.
But you were consistently brilliant all the way through it. Do you know what I mean? He had some really good lines.
Aye.
But
Amanda's brilliant at roasts.
Yeah, no,
like,
really,
'cause
really
she
good.
She's on the
Well, so
WhatsApp to me.
deadpan as well.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean?
You like before she goes on, she's like, Jenky this one, Amanda, you can pure write jokes.
Yeah. No, it's
But like
really
for write jokes just for another person specifically is a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
I love it. It's
And I think as well, because you're quite soft spoken, so it feels like, do you mean you're being punched with a kitten glove?
Yeah.
Aye.
It's really,
like it's hurtful.
yeah. Going, well, she sounds so nice, but what a cunt.
Mark said about me. Mark was like, Amanda's so depressing. Suicide contemplated Amanda. I was like, fucker.
That's a belter. Is there any other memorable?
He said, I'll muddle the wording, but he had a really good line about, he was like, Amanda's son's autistic.
Yeah.
And her ex-husband
It took all the money off you.
I used to miss birthdays, anniversaries. You know, Amanda's lost count, but her son hasn't.
It's really
good one.
It's really it's the last place where you can do stuff like that. Really into it because you'd get fucking cancelled.
No, absolutely.
If you were going on stage.
But it is, it's up
There's
front.
no
it says exactly what,
aye.
it does exactly what it says on the
But
tin.
everybody,
Do you know what I mean?
it's funny, but because it's like everybody is in on the joke, so it's victimless kind of thing.
Aye, it was so like we were excited, and we never told each other. Me and Mark never told each other our jokes
Aye, that's
before
much
it.
better.
But whereas me and Ray did, just because I don't know. I think she was just like wanting to.
Aye.
She was a bit worried about it. Aye.
Yeah.
But me and Mark were like, no, let's just keep it for the stage because then it's a surprise and it's funnier for you as well when you don't know what's
Imagine
coming.
you were genuinely fucking raging though. Imagine you were like, what great. That'd be me. I'd be like, I never knew you thought that about me.
Well, it's like
Everybody does.
Yeah. Oh, well, now you do. But it is, I think it's about putting your ego at the door. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
And it is, that's what I was saying to Gareth, actually, Raw was judging it with me. I'm like, some of the jokes were, I mean, so good.
Aye.
And considering they were written just specifically for this, it's such a good exercise, if nothing else. There is a little bit of me does want to do it.
Aye.
Because I'm like, it forces you to write jokes, specific jokes for a specific thing.
Aye.
And so you're like, there was one about or being autistic and what was it? The one about fruit. Oh, gay and autistic. He's a fruit and a vegetable. It was just, honestly,
That was so
some
good.
really absolute zingers.
There were some
But it's
really
like
good
Joke
jokes.
Thieves. Did you ever do Joke Thieves?
No.
So Joke Thieves was a concept show again,
Aye.
where you got you went up and did 5 minutes of your own material. So the first half of the show was great because it was professional comics doing their actual material, and then you swapped. You were paired up with somebody, and the second half was your partner. And you basically swapped the material, so they did your material and you did theirs.
That's
and it was basically
brilliant.
just a fucking assassination of your stuff.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? It's
Aye.
like basically your whole fucking set being
So
destroyed.
did they actually do your set?
Yeah.
Aye.
Like-
So it's like
Or
karaoke for
yeah,
comedy.
Yeah, so sort of reinterpreted it, and it was just
Right,
like.
okay. I was going to say, is it like an impersonation or would they do it in their own style?
Yeah, so it was all done in completely different ways. It was like
Right,
okay.
a critique or a review, or just done better. Or
That's
it was
brilliant.
really, really funny.
Because-
really good, but some people really fell out over that. I watched an absolute car crash one night.
Are you going to name names, Jojo?
Maybe they're over it, but actually no, and they're both really good friends. They probably will. But there was one night, Joe Caulfield and Mark Nelson.
Oh God!
It was like, but I think they're friends again. But it was brilliant. It was. I mean, at the time, I think everyone was a bit bum clenched.
Oh Jesus! So
yeah.
was there people like? Because I'm just thinking about Mark Nelson. You would target his voice, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So did she actually do his voice?
I can't actually remember the lines of it.
No.
Yeah, no, it was there was both sort of a character assassination of each other, and it was very funny.
And was there like a paying audience in, or was it?
Oh
just
no, paying audience, yeah.
This is what I always think about as well, though, at the roast as well, is like there must be some audience members sitting there going, what? Like,
Well,
who is
Ryan
this?
got me an absolute beauty at the end. I mean, I wasn't even in the room, but
What were you, a judge?
I was a judge,
Aye.
but you still kind of having a go at each other. So Stu and I were kind of, so you end up being a
Stu
bit
was great.
roasted or
Aye.
roasting people.
Aye.
In fact, I got a phone call this morning from somebody going, "Are you upset about last night?" I'm absolutely not upset. But Ryan got me an absolute zinger, but
Right.
in that exact same way that he made. So he talked. He was. Being slammed that two of the people, who was it? Liam Farrelly had said to him about two of the people in his WhatsApp group
Aye.
were rapists, right?
Aye.
So, and there was something else about famous dinosaur. So at the end of it, when I was asked to judge, I was like, okay, before I do anything, I need to do a couple of bits of fact checking.
Aye.
I only know about one of the rapists in your group, right?
Who's the other one?
Who's the other one? And then Gareth said a name, but then Ryan might have brought up my son's name in it, which I thought was hilarious.
Oh, God.
Because that's not what happened, and
Aye.
everybody that
Aye.
knows the story,
Everybody
I've done
knows
I
the
did
story,
a solo
aye.
show about it,
Aye.
and so everybody that knows it's funny. The audience were clueless.
This is what I mean.
Right.
So,
We're like,
but it's that way where you kind of go, the audience does know it's a joke even though they don't know what
Aye.
the joke is. So
Aye.
it kind of works.
I just feel like
But Gareth ran away. He was just like,
ran away, yeah.
everybody thought it was going to kick
just
off.
like,
oh god.
So it was, I thought it was hilarious. Although today, you know, when you think of things back, I wish I was driving through today and I was kind of thinking about it, and I was like, do you know what? If I'd been quick enough, I wish I'd reacted really badly and stormed off and been really upset, pretending, and then made Ryan feel absolutely, and then come back like, that was actually really funny.
I know.
I should have, yeah.
I know it's always the same, but you're like, oh, I should have done this. I should have said this.
Yeah.
Like, that's half my life. Just I should have fucking said that.
Right. But yeah. So in terms of the audience, you're right. I think, you know, they're there. I think they enjoy whatever is being said to each other. They know that, you know, whatever it is, it's, you know, nobody's getting said things that they're not happy with. Or maybe they are. But even if they don't know what they're talking about, the content's funny enough.
A wee bit of context as well.
And like they're obviously seeing the other person, they're joining the dots like, oh, but like seeing the other person react to me like laughter, so they're like, all right, so it's fine, really. Like, it's
and also
exaggeration,
because some really interesting stuff does come out. Like, I mean, I know all the guys that were on last night, but like when you were saying about Mark Black and his, you know, alcoholic father beating them all, I was like, well, I didn't know that. Well, that's quite interesting. That explains a lot.
Sorry, Mark. Mark's getting roasted and he's not even here.
That's why they're all so funny. It's like, you can tell what comedians don't have trauma, you know, they're just not as funny as some others.
100%. I've said that. I've said that for years. I was like, sometimes say to audiences, like, you know, people that get offended by things. Really, I genuinely have a theory. People that do get upset easily haven't been through enough shit. You need to go through some shit, and then you'll find this
and
funny.
then you'll get a thicker skin.
Yeah,
that's probably why. Honestly, I've not done a roast because I've got a wee thin skin. You're pathetic.
You've not been through enough trauma, Susan. I'll find you some
trauma. If anybody out there wants to traumatise me,
I want to traumatise you. Let me roast you.
I know. I don't know. And then equally, I think I would be like really reluctant to like say stuff as well. I'd be like, and then the delivery would be like terrible.
Like, oh,
I
sorry.
think as well.
sorry.
It is a male-female divide. I don't know, but I think generally it doesn't feel right, does it? It doesn't sit right to be mean to somebody.
Because boys are mean to each other all the time. That's their way of like connecting
their way of
and stuff.
But we're generally,
but it feels quite alien.
You know, sort of emotional and kind of reassuring. So it's not.
And then you're up like. No, I know, but it's the same as when I was. I remember my brother and my brother-in-law used to go to kickboxing, and I wanted to get fit, and I was like, "Oh, come along, miss." And I went to the kickboxing class, and I get paired up with the only other lassie in the class, and we were sparring. No, but I couldn't punch, like, because we were like, can I spar a wee bit with each other, like just jabbing each other on the arms and stuff. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I was like, oh, sorry. Sorry. And the lassie was fucking raging. She was like, fuck's sake, like, hit me.
Punch me one. Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it is like
it's no, I just don't think it's a sort of natural feminine instinct.
It really isn't. I mean, you do slag each other off, but knowing the way that you hear boys tear into each other and you're like, oof. Like, but that's your way of like.
Well, in some ways, that's their affection, isn't
it?
Sort of, you know, the meaner they are to each other, the more they like each other. You know.
It's like you can say that.
But sometimes, though, I mean, there is something quite delicious when you do say something really mean to someone. There have been times when I've gone, yum.
No, Amanda, I've said mean stuff to you before, and you've been pure.
I think like if I'm not on stage, we're not on stage.
Yeah. So you just got to be on a stage.
I'm going to be like, because the thing is, I'm sensitive. Like, I
think all comedians are sensitive.
I'm sensitive in some aspects, but in others, I'm like, so like, I love roast, but I love people roasting me. I think it's so funny.
You're right.
But like, I worry regularly that all my pals secretly hate me. Kind of thing. So it's like somebody says something, I was like, have I annoyed you? Have I upset you?
It's called paranoia.
Yeah.
That's what.
She's fucking paranoid.
If you don't like to get yourself a little bit of delusion and go, oh, everybody loves me.
I know.
That's what I've got.
Just have you
It's a
touch a
smidgen of
delusion.
I need that.
Because
I
everybody
need
does
that.
hate you, but I mean,
I know.
She's like, nobody's even thinking about you, nobody cares about you. And I'm like, okay.
I always, my
I
mate Gowan always used to say that expression, if you got something to say it to my face. She's always like, no, behind my back's fine.
I know.
I've got no interest. Got something to say, I don't want to hear it, right behind my back.
I know. Just be a normal person and fucking talk shit behind my back.
Yes.
No, it's funny, but because she's always like, she is pure paranoid, and she'll like, see if you don't answer her text, she's like, you fell out with me. Sometimes I just leave the text for a while just to torture her.
And she'll send a voice note going, ha ha ha. I'll be like,
Oh God,
It's this bloody daft job that we do though as well, because it's it's constant kind of thought process, and how you deliver something, how it's received.
Aye.
The competitiveness. Do you mean every single day you're going questioning yourself, or why didn't I get that gig, or why didn't that gig go well, or somebody even, and because backstage everyone's in a juxtaposition, someone's just been on, they've had a great gig, they're feeling great, somebody's nervous about going on. Do you know what I mean? It's like all these different egos, kind of vulnerability, everything. It's such a
intense.
fucking melting pot of emotions.
It is.
I'm surprised we're not all we are all mental, that's why we do it. But do you know what I mean? I
100% agree with you.
Yeah.
It does, and especially when you're maybe newer and you're going into a green room and everybody's got like bonds and stuff, and you're just sitting there like
which again sort of brings up the whole sort of safe spaces and sort of changing the environment, which my feminine, caring, nurturing side is absolutely, that's nobody should feel uncomfortable or certainly not unsafe. But my other comic side goes, fuck off. Do you know what I mean? It's a dangerous place. We're vulnerable. We're going out and talking about subject. If you're going to get upset because somebody ignored you backstage,
I know.
Go and fucking work in the library.
Exactly.
They'll ignore you there.
I agree because I do agree, because it's like that's the only way you're going to toughen up a wee bit.
Yeah.
Like if you,
but it is
something you need to go through.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But it is a real, because on paper you're going, you wouldn't advocate for people to be rude to you. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's such a tough one.
Yeah.
Because you don't want people to be hurt, but equally you go, but to do this job, actually,
Well, this is
you need to
plus the fact everybody's
really not take things too seriously.
Exactly. I like, because even in the green room as well, like everybody's in their own heads.
Yeah.
They're all thinking about their own gig.
Yeah.
And sometimes somebody can come off as rude when they're not, because even when we met, you thought I was rude.
Yeah.
well,
Right?
no, so
Raymond Mearns, I thought he was the biggest arsehole for the best first.
Who's that?
Raymond Mearns. 6 months, never spoke to me. And then we're really good mates now.
Aye.
And I remember having that conversation going, I was like, you were an absolute cunt to me.
Aye.
Like, was that?
I
Didn't even
realise you were
It's that thing as well, like, and
nothing personal, it wasn't just, and I just kept building on it. I was like, he's not spoken to me again.
Why does he hate me?
Yeah.
Well, the first time we met, Susan was just like, hiya, like this, right? And I was like, hiya, like I was dead excited because obviously you don't gig with many women, so I was like, there's a woman here, and I was like, hiya. She was like, hiya. And like that, I was this
fucking freak.
She was sitting with her Jake Atlas. And I was, and now I think back to it, and I'm like, she was obviously just like depressed that day. Like,
No, I was, because I remember that gig, and I had done a gig before it, and I think it had been shite, so I had came to the next gig just in
With
my
that
head.
in your head,
and it was
absolutely.
nothing to do with like,
and you just don't know. I mean, I know I've gone on stage when I've literally seen my phone and somebody, my godmother's died or something. You're like, you have to go on stage,
exactly,
and you kind of put it all somewhere. But it does affect you, and then somebody will say something, that was good, and you go, but you're
and
like,
they take it so personally.
But going, I wasn't thinking about you. I've just been told some bad news, but I'm not going to share it with you.
Exactly.
All these things going on.
Because
with the whole,
I'm just very like, all right, I would never be like offended if people weren't pure. Wow, amazing to see you! Like when I go into a green room, because I'm just like,
I know.
Hi, everybody.
But I think it's that, like, because I remember it took me a long time to realise that, like, oh no, they're not being rude.
No.
Like they'll just get their own stuff going on, and it's a heightened environment where you're about to go out and be so vulnerable that sometimes you just need to be quiet and just sit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because different people have different ways. You know, some people don't talk to them before they're about to go on stage.
And some people are like
that. Yeah,
is that you?
I mean, I'll chat away. I'm literally mid conversation,
and then you're so relaxed.
On stage, you're just like, you know, and I'll even be halfway at the stage going, "Oh, sorry, I was just having a chat about, you know." But yeah, different. But that's my way of getting on stage because I don't want to have to think. I don't want to think this guy. I want to just not think about it at all. Just keep going.
Yeah.
So, some radio interview I did recently. Russell Brand thing, blah. But somebody said, you know, that's the problem with comedy. We don't have an HR department. I'm like, good.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? I didn't get into comedy to have a fucking HR department.
I know. Can you imagine?
And it's not that I'm advocating bad behaviour, but I'm advocating bad behaviour.
It's like what I think, like, but
not that kind of bad behaviour. Hang on a minute. Let's be clear. Yeah, I'm not.
That's how you want to get cancelled, Josie. Just wearing a witch's hat.
I know exactly. Yes, brought on a new personality.
No, but I that's what I always think as well. But I'm so glad I got into comedy the time that I did, because that I got into comedy just as the Me Too stuff was kicking off, and I can't imagine what it was like before to like. I just think I would have crumbled. I think I would have crumbled.
Do you think?
Aye.
It's hard
because I feel like, although you're saying, like, I feel like people are believed knowing what they say, and they're maybe is like, if somebody is creepy with you, you'd be like, fuck off. Do you know what I mean? Whereas before you'd be like, oh God,
no, absolutely. You know what I mean? And that is because of the hierarchy and the power dynamic and people's status in comedy, that was allowed to, you know, I think people did take advantage. And I think the main circuit is really well policed as peers. I think on the open spot coming in, I think that's where the danger lies. And the other end, when people become really famous, and you know,
so the middle bit.
But and I think when you are at a level where you're just new and you're just meeting people and you're quite, because it's such a vast kind of, it seems huge, the comedy circuit, when you first enter it. It's tiny because we all know you fart and somebody will tell you, don't they? But it seems huge when you first come in. So if somebody who is of an elevated status, or you know, says something a bit inappropriate, as an open spot, you're not going to say anything.
I know.
You're really not.
I know.
Whereas somebody said something inappropriate to me, you go, sorry, fucking what?
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, there is that power dynamic.
It is a power thing. Aye.
And again, I don't know.
That's every workplace, but isn't it?
Yeah.
Because people do. The only thing I will say is, because there isn't like a structure in place that is more like, it is like you basically, you're on your own kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Apart from like if you've got colleague pals and other comedians and that you can talk to, but
like this 20 years ago,
no,
I mean, a fucking pipe dream.
Aye.
You know, and even last night when who was roasting Kate and Kathleen, and it was that thing. I mean, they were fucking blistering.
Aye.
And I just sat there just grinning, just going,
aye.
Do you mean it's not female comedians, it's two fucking awesome comics?
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? And kind of, I was really kind of like,
aye,
this
is nice to
great.
See, isn't it? Because I can see a difference. You must see such a difference. I can see a difference for when I started, and I'm only like 6 years into it, and I'd say like post lockdown, it's really, there's so much more like diversity, like, isn't there?
A lot more.
Like there's more, because we probably couldn't have done Material Girl before lockdown. I don't think we could have done it Monday after. It would have been the same faces all the time, but there's so many more like women
new
and stuff,
female comics starting and stuff.
And they're all fucking
really
good,
strong women. And again, it's that thing of going, you know, I've always said, you know, an audience will assume a man is funny till he proves otherwise. They'll assume a woman is unfunny till she proves otherwise. I'm very competitive, so I've always liked the challenge. And, you know, certainly when I was starting, and I'm the school of Jen Brister, Zoe Lyons, Maureen Younger, do you mean kind of that, all those kind of people where we just were not on the stage together. We never saw each other. The sort of Hazel O'Keefe set up Laughing Cows, and that was sort of first kind of UK-wide sort of all female bills. The Stand was doing Wicked Wenches.
I remember
and that, you know, so even though it did feel like the Special Olympics, and it did, do you know what I mean? And there was a little bit going,
Yeah.
but I think it did make a difference. You know, because it did encourage more women to do it. And because I do remember, you know, literally jonglers when it was in Glasgow, somebody, it was obvious where you were coming on, and I saw a guy sort of nudging and looked around, oh, fuck, there's a woman.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? People audibly sigh when I walked on stage. I hadn't even opened my mouth. So there was all that, and even the promoters. I remember somebody said, "Oh, we've double booked you in Leeds. Can we move to London?" And I was like, "Actually, that suits me better." And oh, sorry, no, there's already a woman on. I was like, "You didn't say that out loud." And she went, "Yeah, but you know what I mean." And I kind of did know what she meant
because it was the audience.
Because it's the audience. It's not that your colleagues are, you know, going that you can't do it. But the audience remembers if a woman's not funny.
The audience maybe weren't ready for that, or like.
And then because women, I think we were set against each other, and that's changed because I knew that if Susan Calman had got a spot, well, I wasn't fucking getting it. Or you know, or Joe, or whatever. So you're like, oh, fuck.
So naturally, it creates animosity
between women that should never have existed. But it, you know, we were set up to. Be set against each other. I guess
it's just the society that you live in. It's just like a wee reflection of that. But it has over time. Everybody's done their bit. Like everybody does their bit, and then it just gets better and better to the point where now you can put on like a monthly show where like you
can put two women on the bill.
Exactly. And our audiences are fine with it now. So
we did a show together once, and it was 4 women. It was me, Jojo, Nina Gilligan.
Oh, that's right.
And Alison June Smith.
Yeah.
And it was only one. There was only one guy on the bill. And it was a great night.
It was absolutely fantastic.
And I'll bet you.
And it wasn't billed as an all-female night. It wasn't anything like that.
It was just a regular.
That's happened.
Saturday night show and Friday night. I can't remember, but a weekend show, and there was only one guy, and it was great. It was a great show.
And that's the other thing as well. And again, probably a hangover from my coming through it. Do you know that kind of? I'm probably harder on other women to be good. Do you know what I mean? So I get really.
If they're you're like, no, I get what you're saying. Like we've got less space to fail.
Yeah,
really,
absolutely.
Yes.
So people have said to me, oh, you know, if a woman's gone on before me and done really well, going, oh, you fucking, you know, no, I'm delighted. Please be good, because it makes it hard for me if you die in your arse. It's a piece of piss if you know. But then I probably, if I'm honest, quite kind of, come on girls, don't fucking let me down. Don't fuck this up. Do you know what I mean?
I think anybody that's in a minority of like whatever, that's the way you naturally feel. It's like fucking be good, like so that because it doesn't make it easier for you. Because if there's like somebody that's shite on before you and they just happen to be female or whatever, and like or they've just had a bad night or whatever, and then you go in the audience are like some of the audience are like, oh, another woman.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas weirdly, I love it if a bloke fucks up before me. So I'm like, I'll show you how it's done.
Exactly. And I think that's perfectly deserved.
I love that as well. I'm sorry, I know that's petty, sad, but I love when the guy before me, I'm like, well, he did all right, but it wasn't. And then I love if I go up and I do better than him. I just feel like,
because it's one step
I love
forward.
being a woman.
It's like you've converted people in a way. You think, oh, actually, because women are, maybe they are better. Do you know what I mean? They're equal.
And also, again, sort of my sort of coming up the ranks as well, is that, do you know what I mean, it definitely was harder for women. Just undoubtedly. But also juxtaposition, if you were good, it was really easy because you got booked everywhere. Do you know what I mean? So there was less competition. So if you could all fuck off again. Not joking.
No, I know what you mean. But like, it must have been tempting, kind of like go down that way of thinking of like if you're really good, you will get all the gigs, kind of thing.
I'm the funny woman about here.
Nobody else is step on my patch.
It's fucking mad, isn't it?
It's fucking mad. So it is. But it's good. It's changing.
Oh no, it is, and it's changing brilliantly. Like really, really good. Oh, but yeah, I mean, there's still shite women still shite men.
Exactly.
So again, like any job, do you know what I mean? It's like, and that probably is the one thing that does slightly annoy me now, is somebody will say, oh, if you're free on this date, blah, 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 because we really need a woman.
Aye.
That irritates me.
Aye.
No, you don't need a woman, you need a funny comic.
A good comic.
Exactly.
To be female.
Aye.
You know, I don't think that should,
I know, it's-
funny should always be
Aye,
top of the
First,
list,
yeah.
you know.
Well, they're saying that we are having like in November, because that's like International Men's Day happens,
Yeah.
and that we're having Material Guy. So it's going to be like all guys on the lineup and just me and Amanda.
A once a year thing.
A once a year thing. Aye, but I'm like, they better not fucking do better than the lassies night. 'Cause then we fucked the whole thing.
We're like, we don't want it to be too good.
I had this idea of like, for a joke, obviously, like I was like, why don't we just have one guy on the bill at Material Girl every month, and like when they come out, the audience boo them.
Oh,
I'm like, no.
But no in like in a funny way.
At the
Matt
roast
does
battle
like
last night, Stu was like, making every like the winner would like get clapped off, and I'd make the loser like wait, and then when the loser got off, everybody had to boo them.
I think
so
I'd
funny.
quite like that. I think that
It
was
was
something dead funny about that.
So
Getting
dramatic,
booed off
guy. Everybody's literally like,
Have you, Jojo, have you ever been seriously booed off stage?
so just reminded me of something. Again, jonglers. Most of the horror stories do come from
Jonglers,
jonglers.
aye.
Rest in peace.
was that where Glee? Is that Glee now?
Yeah.
Aye. Aye.
Original, yeah.
Aye.
So it was the jonglers in Edinburgh, which was the Omni Centre. And I told this story for ages because it was such a horrific night. And I was like, I was comparing, and I was like, it was just, they literally booed all the acts on stage. Every single fucking last one of them. And it was like, this is fucking awful.
Was it a full room?
Yeah, absolutely.
How
just
did
booed
they
it.
all agree?
And so, yeah. So then, and I still don't, this is where delusion comes in. Somebody finally said to me when I said, are you sure they weren't booing you off? I was like, that had never fucking crossed my mind.
Not me.
And I think they might have been. I think I was getting booed off. It's like they booed every single act on.
No, they booed you off.
Really not.
So, another time, absolutely booed, and it was quite early on. Laughing Cows, actually, in Manchester, and quite a lot of lesbians who fucking used to hate me.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely hate me. 'Cause I think somebody shouted out "fucking breeder" because I had children. And oh my god, I want to remember who was. Oh, I need to remember who was headlining because she was absolutely brilliant. Oh god, it'll have to come back to me. But she was basically like, this is like the sort of heresy of comedy clubs that she went on and gave them a row about how fucking awful they'd been to me.
Aye.
They just booed all the way through my set.
Oh my god,
All the way through.
that's crazy.
Did you just
keep
carry
going?
on?
I just-
yeah.
Just like
That's
I just honestly, because I was kind of rooted to the spot as well.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, where we were going, I don't know what to do.
Aye.
And it was the first time I'd done that gig, and I just didn't know that, you know, I've gone, go fuck yourselves and walked off. But I was like,
Well, I still get
15 minutes to go.
yeah, I'll need to remember who the
Do you know
headline
what
act was.
though? Like,
Angie McAvoy, and she absolutely rinsed them for how awful they'd been to me.
oh, did
And she was brilliant. She kind of messaged me afterwards and said,
And was that like a regular occurrence, like people getting booed at that night, or was it
no,
just you?
no, it was just me.
Oh,
Kid, yeah, no, it was awful.
That's I'm not
awful.
laughing just because it's like so
yeah.
fucking extreme.
So, and the other awful gig I had was the State Bar
Aye.
when Billy Bonkers ran it a long time ago.
I don't know who that is, but it sounds like
Viv was talking about him.
Yeah, Billy Bonkers.
Viv was talking about him when
Yeah.
she was on.
And to be fair to Billy, he did say before I went on, you don't have to go on if you don't want to. I was an absolute fucking arsehole going, I can do it. Because it was really, really, like, just unplayable. Just everybody talking and everything. So I went on. It would have been fine because I was like, if it had been all that deathly silence.
Oh no, that's
I mean, nothing. They just all stared at me.
Oh no, that's the
And
worst.
that's worse than being booed.
That is worse than being booed.
Absolutely nothing.
That's
I was just
unnerving. Like just people just sitting. I mean, I have been there.
horrible.
Several times.
Absolutely horrible. But it is things like that that do kind of, you know,
toughen you up.
And so now a little bit sometimes I see in the clubs, if, you know, somebody does shout and go, no, gets thrown out, go.
Because in a way, like, I mean, you have got to have a space to feel and all that, but like you do need honest feedback as well.
And also, if someone's paying 20 quid at a weekend, you better be fucking funny.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Everyone can have an off night, fine, and if people are just being deliberately horrible, but if you're not getting laughs, that is on you. That really is your responsibility, and the audience getting blamed for not laughing. I'd sometimes go, I'm not in agreement here.
I know.
You know?
I think it can be half and half.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
You know what I mean? But like, you've got to take your responsibility. Like most of the time, there are the odd gigs where they are just cunts. But like, like, I always feel like I've ruined their night. Do you know what I mean? Like, I do feel responsible. Like, if I come off and I've fucked up, I've not done my best, I'm like, because you think they've all come out for a nice night, and I've ruined it.
I mean, the one good thing about comedy is no one ever remembers your name. Even if you've been brilliant or, you know, literally.
The good and the bad thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I used to spell my name out at the end of sets just so that it would fucking sink in. So I'm like, so my handle is, and then I'd be like, SUSAN. And it fucking worked, by the way.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Like, do you still do the thing? Because I remember talking to you where you says you were doing the QR code thing.
And I haven't done it for ages, and I should get back. Well, the reason I haven't done it is because of what we were talking about earlier, so it doesn't go anywhere now, so no one's managing that site. So, but yeah, it really fucking worked.
It does work.
Yeah.
It does.
So people just come up, and especially now after COVID, people just know a QR code. It's just.
How do you feel when you're, so just to explain to the audience, like, so you're trying to get people to follow you on your social media after the gig. What people have started doing is just like holding like a wee cardboard thing with like their QR code on the way out for people to scan so that they can like follow you and stuff. But how do you feel when you're standing there doing that? Do you feel, because I just feel like that's my worst nightmare.
Yes, so I got into the habit of placing the board somewhere. So I had my face on it. I'd take it on stage with me and go, blah, 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 you know, QR code, it'll be up the back of the bar. Do you mean? So
you wouldn't have to stand beside it.
But then I kind of got over that hump again in Australia because I was flyering, because I was doing Best of British, and there was me, Kerry Marks, Andy Askins. Andy Askins hated flying and he would never do it. But me and Kerry used to do it all the time. But I ran out of flyers, or I just hadn't brought enough, sort of in the first week. So I'd been handing out flyers, and then was like, oh shit, I don't have any flyers. So I just had one flyer, and I was like saying to people, you can't have this one because it's the only one I've got, just take a picture. And then people were taking pictures, and I never flyed again. I just held it up.
Oh, that's
at the end of the show.
Idea.
And then people would go and so it really made a difference. So, and saved a fortune on flyers.
I know, because flyers are so wasteful. I always over-order or under-order. And if you under-order during the Fringe, you've then got to get more and pay the extra shipping thing to get it there quicker and all that. And I can never get it right. And then you feel like dead.
I know, absolutely.
I fucking paid all this money for these, and I need to put them on the bin now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, when I was doing my Best of Britain, when I was doing the set, I'd have my flyer in my back pocket, and it was all creased and crumpled, and I'd bring it out sort of, a couple of minutes before the end, go, I've got my own solo show, if you want to come and see me, I've got a flyer, I've only got one, so, you have to take a photograph, you can't have this. And then people would come up afterwards and then go, take a photograph. And then it's on their phone, and they just,
I'm going to definitely,
because if they take a flyer, chances are it's in their pocket, or do you mean they just
the washing machine?
It's like mere heartbreaking when you come out and they're all lying everywhere, and you're like, those fucking fuckers. I mean, but then I would do the same as well. I'm the worst person for like in the Fringe, like just being like, no, I don't want a flyer, even though you've been on the receiving end.
I'm the opposite. I'd take every flyer.
I start off like that, and then I'm like, fuck this, like I've got all these flyers and I'm just like, they're wasted on me. I'm not going to see any of this stuff. Do you ever flyer your own shows, or like?
Sometimes I do, and I kind of should do it more, because when I do it, I kind of quite enjoy it, and because of the sort of act I am, it kind of suits that I chat to people anyway. But nah,
I'm the opposite.
Yeah,
I'm just like, don't look at me, like when I go off stage.
I think so it's that sort of, I know I'm quite good at it, but it's that basically feels like begging.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? It feels
know.
like, yeah, and there's something just kind of makes me go, oh.
Like, it's the rejection of it that I can't stand.
Yeah.
It's like, honestly, because I went to Exit Flyer, somebody's show, when I was doing my show last year. It was Paul Black's show, actually, because I was like, all right, they're all probably going to be for Glasgow. Like, they're probably a similar sense of humour. I'll go and Exit Flyer them, and I think the first couple of people were pure no, and I was like, I can't do this. Like, I was nearly grating.
Yeah.
Why?
It's
Why
just
not?
that face to face. I don't mind if I have a bad gig. Like, I can take that rejection. I take a lot of rejection in my life. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm gigging, so people don't laugh. That's a rejection. Then you're writing stuff, you get scripts rejected.
Don't
like,
get
I'm on
replied
Tinder,
to
I get
email,
fucking ghosted. Do you know what I mean? Like, but see the flyering thing, just that
face.
pure thing. Like, no.
Too far.
It just pure makes me want to die. So I can't do it.
Yeah,
But I
I
would
would
really
never
love to be able to do it. Because like I'm a fortune on flyers.
Well, that was genuinely this year, because I didn't do a solo show. I genuinely thought about offering to flyer for other people.
Oh,
I was
I'd
like,
love
I could have
that.
made a fortune.
Like getting a comedian to flyer for you.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like I would flyer better for somebody else's show
Yeah.
as well, because it's less cringy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, saying someone else is brilliant, going, I'm brilliant.
No, I'm great.
I
And
mean,
then they
they're-
come and you're shite.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry about that.
You said
Yeah.
You fucking wine bitch.
It is.
I
When
couldn't.
when you break it down at what we do, you just go, why do we
I know,
do
it's
this?
so masochistic.
It is just absolutely bonkers.
It's humiliating, isn't it? Like so many aspects.
I love it.
I know, but there's that weird part of you that's like, fuck it.
but I won't stop.
I want to stop. I know.
Well, it's in that Hotel California.
Have you ever, since we're wearing witches hats,
Yes.
have you ever had any memorable Halloween gigs? Like any spooky?
I don't think I have.
No.
No.
It's not really, I know.
And it's not.
We're trying to force the Halloween theme.
I know.
We are.
We do.
We really are. So
I mean, Scotland has, do you mean, you know, it's come over from America and it is much more of a thing. But again, I'm from a generation, Halloween just was, there was no such thing as trick-or-treating when I was growing up.
Was there
you know,
not?
not
No?
no, really not.
Whereabouts did you grow up?
Place called Dunkeld near Perth.
Right, okay.
And it was middle of nowhere sort of thing. But yeah, it just wasn't. There wasn't, well, maybe, yeah, duking for apples.
geysers, yeah.
You know, so geysers and maybe, yeah, but not that kind of American. So
not
it
the
was
real.
not really the same dressing up thing at all.
Nobody, like the whole people decorating their gardens and their houses and all that is a really new
That's
thing.
an American thing.
It used to be, you
And
would
adults
see-
having Halloween parties, that
Aye.
never happened.
Aye.
Because it was for the WEANs.
Aye.
Wasn't for grown-ups.
I love
Grow the fuck up. It's not for you.
I do like it, but I mean, I can't be arsed now. But when I was younger, like that was like a big night to go out Halloween, and like
Yeah, it was called Geisen, but it was, I mean, but it really was, do you mean it was like an apple or a bit of,
Aye.
you know,
some monkey nuts.
raisins? Or, yeah.
Aye, when we would go trick or treating or whatever, or would you go round the doors? Like you could round the doors and you'd go about your street or whatever, or the street round the corner, and you would just know what houses to chat because their lights
Yeah.
were on.
Aye.
There'd be so many whose lights were just off, so
Aye,
you'd
they'd
go,
fucked off.
right, we'll chat them because their lights are on. So maybe like they.
Aye, but no, like I'm sure, because my sister's got 3 weans and my brother's got 2 weans, and they're at that age where they go round the doors, and like if you put a pumpkin outside your
Aye.
house, that means you can come in now.
Aye.
But if you've not got a pumpkin, like
Oh,
don't
really?
fucking come near.
Yeah. Get the
Get
fuck
to
away.
fuck, you're not getting
Normally,
anything.
I've taken Ethan around the doors the past 3 years or something.
But
Maybe.
they don't do the whole trick or treating, like they don't do like a trick.
I'd check. Oh, Ethan will tell a joke and
Tell
it's
a
always
joke, sing
like
a song.
terrible. Aye, like they don't even ask for it. He just like forces it upon them, which I love. But we shot ourselves last year. There was a house around the corner, and there was like a statue, what I thought was a decoration, like a kind of Grim Reaper thing in somebody's garden. And we walked in the garden. Ethan was a bit like, oh, and I was like, sorry, it's just a decoration. When we got up, the guy was pure, hello, like that. And we were pure, ah! Like I screamed so loud that like people came out of their houses to like see what was wrong. They were like, is that you, Chris, or whatever? And he was like, aye, just me. Like pure, he'd obviously been doing it like all night, like pure torturing people. And
He must
was
have been having the time of his life.
Aye. He was so still. Like I was just like, it's just a
We should
decoration.
hire him for Material Girl Halloween night.
I'd
And I've
imagine.
read it.
What do you mean?
So when
Hire
did
him
you
to
start
sit
doing
outside.
So when did you start doing Material Girl? After lockdown?
I organised it for the Glasgow Comedy Festival last year. Just as I wasn't even planning on making it a regular thing. I just thought I want to do a show and I want to just do it with some lassies. So I just rounded up a couple of lassies that there was a couple that I'd kind of started with who don't even do it anymore. And
I can't even remember. Was that there?
Yeah, it was me. You were the headliner.
Oh, was it?
Aye.
I can't remember.
You were definitely there. It was like me, you, Ray Brogan,
Right.
Emma McNally. She doesn't do it anymore. I can't even remember. That's terrible.
I can't remember
My
either.
memory's terrible.
I'm dreadful for things like that. honestly.
Oh, Amanda Hersey.
Aye,
And
that's right. Aye.
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Well,
But
you started.
aye.
Just quickly, I did a night as well that was 3 women and a bobby instead of like 3 men and a
3
baby.
Yeah.
Which I
Very good.
actually, I know
That's a great name.
Isn't it, right? But the poster was horrifying, right? So you know the film 3 Men and a Baby?
Yeah.
I had superimposed the 3 lassies, me, Amanda and Amanda Hersey, and
Kirsty Morrison.
Stephen was a bobby. He was so he was superimposed onto a wee baby's face, and I'm going to put a picture
We
of
all
this
like
poster.
holding.
Everybody was like, "That's so disturbing." So
It's a great name.
I
3
know,
men and a bobby.
I know. So we had both. So I was like, kind of doing that night, and McChuills, you were doing Material Girl. You'd put on that, and it was just all lassies.
It's funny that's turned around because years ago, again, I know it was Kieran McAllister and I can't remember who the other 2 were. It was three men and a little lady.
Oh,
and it
really?
was Susan Calman.
Oh, right.
So it was 3 blokes
it's
and a little
turned
yeah.
around.
lady.
I wonder if they had like a poster for that. That would be interesting. No, because I was going to call it 3 women and a little laddie. It was Stephen Buchanan.
Yeah. I just
Poor Stephen. Anything you say, do you want to do this? Aye, all right. And like, well, I'm going to superimpose your face onto a naked baby, and it's going to look so creepy.
Yeah, fine.
But aye, your night was better than my night. You got a better crowd in that night, I remember.
I think we sold maybe.
I mean,
nearly-
not she remember, not she's competitive.
I
remember
know,
that.
it's all coming back to me
my
now.
night was better.
Yeah, now I remember.
But I need to fucking
I remember
show
I
this
was
bitch.
there and it was a bit too good. No, it was so I sold quite a few tickets. It's like I think we sold maybe like 40 tickets, which was
That's amazing.
I was chuffed with because it was
Aye.
like a Monday night. It was the first show I'd ever organised, and it was just like I was just kind of doing it for a laugh because I wanted to. Some of the girls I hadn't even met, and it was just other girls I'd spoke to saying, "No, why don't you ask her and her?" And I was like, okay, it's a nice way to just meet other girls who are starting it or whatever. And it went well, and then the guys at McChuills said you should, like, that was really good, you should make it a monthly thing. So after we didn't do one in the April, but then we've done another one in the May, and we've been doing it monthly since then. Susan, I just said, do you want to help me? And so now we just both,
And then we were like, why don't we do a wee... But we started the podcast because we're like, we could promote the night
Yeah.
through the podcast kind of thing, and then it just all kind of... And we saw like them doing some laughing at, and we're like, we should do something like that, do you know what I mean? And Mark was like, he was really helpful. He told me all the equipment and all that to
brilliant.
get, and what to do and all that. They were
the audience will be like, where are you? We're in Susan's house.
Oh, aye.
So we're normally in that where we
That's right. So we're usually in like a wee porta cabin thing. Is that porta cabin? I keep going, no.
Container.
Why can I not remember shipping container? Aye. We're usually in a dodgy shipping container. But we're out of there now.
You're in
So
a dodgy
this is a
house.
temporary thing, and I'm going to do up my spare room. Oh, nice.
Oh,
For a
nice
wee-
and lovely.
A wee
Nice.
podcast place. Aye, so...
But that's the thing, isn't it? Everyone's doing podcasts.
I
and
know.
it's So
I think I was one of the ones that was... I'm always like this, but I never go on the trend when, like...
I'm all,
it's-
yeah.
Aye.
I'm always behind the trend.
Yeah. And then again, personal question, but do you make money from this?
No.
That's no.
No, because we're on... Well, we're planning on going on Patreon.
Right.
But just when we get a wee bit more consistent and we get a wee bit more of a following, we'll go on Patreon. Pretty soon we'll go on Patreon, I think, because there's no harm in it, is there? If people want to...
Maybe like
money.
starting next year or something, maybe just if we're...
Aye.
So we have a big
and obviously you
following.
can get advertising and stuff like that, but you need a proper. I think you would need like a proper following before they would.
Well, that was the thing. Be honest, I'd got to that stage where we had advertising
you
on it and
should
stuff.
definitely do it again. Then.
Yeah, I know. So, but again, just trying to learn how to monetize it.
I know, but then you've the other thing.
I mean, it shouldn't be about the money, but it sometimes has to be.
Well, it's going to have some benefit.
Yeah, you want to be. Yeah,
I think unless you're getting something at it, there's no point really. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't want to sit here with Amanda.
This is off for something.
It should be for something, just even for your following, as in
and it's kind of a presence online, isn't it?
Exactly. It's usually something to put.
It feeds the night, and
So
that
like
makes
saying,
sense.
I always used to think like I would say to people after a gig, follow me on Instagram, and then I would do fuck all on Instagram. I'm like, well, they're following me, but I'm not fucking saying it. I need to put something out.
I never post it.
I know.
Once a month, I'll be like, here's a couple of photos.
As soon as I post anything, I lose followers. I mean, I'm like, what?
No, I forgot I followed that bitch. No, that happens to me. That used to happen to me all the time on Twitter.
Yeah.
On Twitter, every time I tweeted, I'd lose. I'd be like, this is a belter. This is going to go viral, and then I'd like lose 10 followers. But what the fuck?
See, I'm scared to post things that I think are like funny to me, because a lot of the things that I'm like, this is funny, you like share, and then I'll get it ready to post, and then I'll watch it, and I'm like, nobody wants to see that.
I know, but you should just stick it out.
I know.
I've said TikTok, which I mean, I never thought I'd ever be on.
Aye.
That one doesn't. I don't lose followers. That just steadily keeps going up. So I do kind of like, but yeah, Instagram, I'm like, that really hurts. Especially, I mean, most of the time it's just me at gigs drunk. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
But every occasion I'll do something quite cute, and like Ailey and Gareth's wedding or something. I go, you still follow me because I put a nice picture of my daughter's wedding. You absolute cunts.
I know. Do you remember, I don't know if they still have this like thing, but there used to be an app where you could, it was for Twitter, you could see who had followed you.
Like, that was honestly, again, not good for mental health.
No.
Because I do the tour support for Jonathan Pye, and he had to stop looking at it because he was just, I mean, it was really affecting his mental health, because you would look at all the comments,
people that have unfollowed, and then like
and the things that people would say, and do you know what I mean?
Sometimes it'd be like somebody you know, and you'd be like, excuse me, this has changed this relationship.
No, absolutely.
Like there's nothing more brutal.
What was the other thing I used to do, and I don't do it anymore, but yeah, I'd go onto my Twitter and exactly, not the see who's unfollowed me, but I go on to who I was following, and then if it was like following people that were friends and stuff and they weren't following me back, I go unfollow.
I still do that.
I did that this morning.
I'm going to have a purge people.
I'm pure fuck you. Like, we're equals.
Who's think
you're not following me? But then equally, there's people I just, maybe if they don't like put much stuff up and stuff, like you kind of,
you forget they're on it. And there is also, and I don't know if this is just a myth that's been kind of put around to make people feel better about being unfollowed, that quite a lot of people say that Twitter just unfollows people on your behalf, and you kind of go, do they?
Does it? Why would it?
No, but I have heard
but loads of people have said that kind of go, and a couple of people where I've gone, oi, you know, because I know them really well, and they're like, I swear to you, I didn't unfollow you. So you do know. So
no, I think that does happen sometimes, but equally, I think like people do use that as an excuse.
Yes,
I know I would. I'd be like, if I
there's a loophole.
Wasn't me. Yeah, I know, because you're that bold, you're pure unfollow, and then you're in a green room, you're pure.
Oh shit! But it is again, it's that kind of seeing the negative rather than all the positive things. I
know,
because it's Damo Clark's got that brilliant cartoon. Have you seen it?
No.
So it's a picture of like a comedian on stage, and the audience are all laughing, ha ha, and it says what the audience sees, and then underneath exactly the same picture, same cartoon, and all the audience are laughing apart from one guy's in the audience like that with his arm folded, and it's like that's what the comedian sees. And it's like, why do we do that? There's 199 people laughing, and we're ignoring all that positive energy for that one guy. He's probably just fucking lost his wife and been dragged along.
Or else like just doesn't like you. Like I've sat there just like I would never. This is why I always sit up the back, because even if I'm enjoying a show at the front, see that pressure to just always be displaying it. Do you know what I mean? It's horrible. And like, and then even during the Edinburgh Fringe, because I did see a lot of shows this year, I realised how fucking horrible it is to be an audience member at the Fringe, because the venues are like horrible. Usually shite,
so
horrible,
sweaty,
uncomfortable.
No air conditioning. You're fucking crammed right up to a stranger. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just not a nice environment to be in, and it's really hard to enjoy a full hour of comedy. And you're like, oh, right, but when you're on stage, you're only looking at it from your perspective.
Absolutely.
You're like, fucking laugh. Laugh from start to finish.
Don't take a breath. Like, I'm trying not to pass out.
There are so many elements like that, isn't it? Like the chairs are uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Or you needing a wee. Or, do you know what I mean? It's just like...
Or like naturally you just drift off and you maybe miss a punchline, or do you know what I mean? But I never used to do that. I never used to focus on like the one person no laughing, but I do now.
Oh no,
I do now. I think it's maybe, I don't know. Do you do that?
It depends what I can see, what the venue is. I'll try and find somebody at the front who I think likes me, so that if I'm once I do notice the people who don't, I can go back to them for a bit of support. Be like, right, okay, oh fuck you. So I'll just concentrate on these people because they're smiling and they're laughing at me.
That's funny as well when there's like, when you're having a shite gig but there's like one person enjoying it.
And
you're like, I fucking love you. You're like,
thank God for you.
You're like, thanks, you don't know how much this means.
It genuinely like, done it? Pure saves
that
your
happens
life.
a lot in the Fringe. There'll be like two people who are fucking loving it and everybody else is just like me nose laughs.
Yeah, especially when, you know, the numbers are low and
you're just like, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. You're the reason I'm going to like top myself the night.
I'll come back tomorrow now.
Oh, it's funny. I did Larry Dean support though, and there's one guy that kept coming back who has like a mental laugh.
Oh, really?
He's not a stalker, he's just a fan, right? And he's a nice guy, like, but he's got he sounds like a seal, like what do you call them, sea lions?
Yeah.
And he goes to a lot of Larry's shows.
It's so distracting.
I know, and he's so nice and he's so good.
And isn't it awful? You don't want to tell someone off for laughing, but it's like,
exactly, like, shut the fuck up. Equally, like when he's, because I was like, when he would stop laughing, you're like,
no, exactly. Yeah,
but is that not funny?
When you've got a really distinctive laugh,
when is it?
You know, I didn't hear her.
we're such fucking brats, aren't we? Like, we want everything to be like
perfect conditions.
A guy got kicked out the stand one night for laughing at me. Like, what?
I was just like, that's a sin for laughing.
It was like, honestly, I went up, it was just Red Raw or something, did 10 minutes, but he was like really laughing like uncontrollably at bits where I was literally just like setting up the joke as well. So like I remember just at one point kind of looking over,
sort of ironic or sort of destructive.
Well, no, I thought so, right? And then I came off, and then I was in a green room with all guys, and some of the guys were like, that was ironic, he didn't, basically, there's no way he found you that funny, kind of thing, right?
Charming.
And
I know.
I got outside, I was like, oh fuck this, I'm not hanging out to watch these guys. So I left at the break, and the guy was outside, and he was like, oh, you were so funny. I said, are you that guy? And he was like, oh, don't say that. He was like, it's a comedy club, do you not want me laughing? He was like, I'm sorry. He was like, I just thought I just found you so funny.
Sometimes you can find somebody just standing there funny though, like their mannerisms and stuff.
We was talking to last night, Jen, and she was like, and it is that when you slightly get hysterical with somebody, and there's I think he's still going, an act called Anthony J. Brown.
I've not seen him.
And exactly that. Like, he'd come on stage, stand completely still, say nothing, stroke the microphone, and the audience just like, what's he doing? And that way we're just going, you are going to speak in a minute, right? Just kept stroking the microphone. And then I just started giggling, and you're just going, I don't even know what I'm laughing. He's not said anything.
Yeah.
And then again, it still sticks in my mind so much, stroking. And then he said, I had a third of a Mars bar. And I've lost my shit. I've lost my shit.
What's up with that?
And then he just kept stroking the microphone. Went, only wanted a rest. the advertising for Mars Bar was work, rest and play, so he only had a third. And for the next 20 minutes, I was in agony, but so I was laughing at all the setup. I was laughing at everything. Do you know what I mean?
It was like
because,
that,
and I think because you do have that delivery and that tone of voice that is so kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Not dry, but deadpan, but just that droll. That I can imagine somebody just looking into that voice and just giggling because of the way. Do you know what I mean?
Because you know something funny's coming.
It was just really loud.
Just your persona's funny, and also it's like that's something I would laugh at as well. I would laugh at that more than I would laugh at a punchline.
And that's what he was doing.
Anthony J. Brown,
and did he actually get thrown out?
They went up. Somebody went up to him and said, if you're going to keep laughing, you leave. And so I think that was the break. He was like, said having a fag, and I said, oh look, thank you. That's I was worried you were doing it ironically, and he was like, no, I loved you and stuff like that. And then he never went back, and he just thought, fuck that place and left.
Oh, that's a sin.
I know.
Although saying that, imagine he followed you everywhere. You'd be like, fucking shut up.
Yeah.
I'm like, right, come on, you've seen it now.
I wonder if Anthony J. Brown is still going.
I'll need to look him up.
I love all of that, because I've actually not got the bottle to do that. Like, just take my time. I need to go in and get a laugh.
Janie Godley gave me the best advice, because and we're all really bad for it, getting a laugh and then not, because as soon as you start talking again, they stop laughing to hear what you're going to say. And I remember Janie years ago saying to me, if they're laughing, try and get to 10 in your head.
And
it's really good.
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
I talk over the laugh.
Just let them laugh.
You could turn like and
it feels like forever, but actually, and then you stop counting in your head, you just learn to let them laugh.
That's something.
I think that's something I have learned. I'm good at just being like,
that's good, because you don't need to write as much material either.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Slows you down, because I'm a bugger for talking too fast.
Same here. And then people miss things as well, because they're when you're laughing at something, you're repeating the joke out. Anyway, you're repeating it in your head.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you're laughing, and sometimes you can re-laugh. Do you know what I mean? At what you've just heard, and like, I don't even give them the space. I don't really give them the space to do that.
Because if you don't stop and let them laugh, they'll think, all right, that's not the funny bit then. I think if you actually stop talking.
Do you let it die? Like, how do you let the laughter die down to silence before you go? Because that scares me to do that.
Sometimes, but again, it depends. It depends on the gig, because sometimes, because my delivery does change. Sometimes I go on the mood I'm in. So sometimes I can be in a bad mood, or it can just be really slow, or it can be really quick. So sometimes, because I do like the rolling laugh. When you keep talking and people just
keep
going,
but that you kind of have to jump. It's like surfing, you have to kind of ride that wave and get it at the right bit. So I like that.
The next few
so that's when that's kind of going. Like, here's another one here, and people, But then the other one is where you've got a big laugh coming up, and you kind of go.
So you need to just hold your.
I'm gonna just which is quite often why I've got a pint on stage, apart from being alcohol. No, but that's. I mean, all of those things. You're getting a laugh, and then you let them laugh, and you can take a drink.
And you can have a wee sip. That's something I never do either.
Yeah.
Like,
I've never taken a drink
An hour-long
always
show.
Take a drink on.
Never take a drink.
Yeah.
Never a sip.
Just a nice way as well to just.
Just to reset.
Yeah.
I know. Get hydrated.
Yeah.
Or dehydrated, depending on what you're drinking. But that is something that me and Stuart McPherson were talking about that, actually, because I saw him in Monkey Barrel just doing a set, and I was like, you're really fast. Like, you talk a lot faster than I remember. And he's like, I know. And we were both talking about how we wanted to slow down a wee bit on stage, because it
does make a difference.
It does, especially if you're doing like an hour, where you've got to, and especially if you're telling stories where you've got to get information as well.
But it is kind of training yourself, just because naturally I speak quite quickly. Do you mean I'm always like, oh, another thing, got me, so that's my and because I am very me on stage. Do you know what I mean? There's very little difference between me off stage and on stage.
Yeah.
But so I've had to kind of And Tom Stade was the one that was like, will you slow the fuck
I just
down?
rein it in.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, he is like slow though.
He told me to speed up.
Yeah,
Did he? Well, that's good.
But yeah, but he's right, because you know, if I'm going to sort of rate my gigs, the ones where I am slower,
And just
take
makes
my
you like
time.
seem more in control as well, that you're not just needy for a laugh. But people can be too slow as well. You're just like, fucking
I'll get on with it.
Aye.
Yeah, stop milking it.
Aye, and it's like, oh, you're annoying me now. Do you know what I mean? They're really hard.
I know. Oh, it's, yeah. I think it's a science.
It is, aye. That you'll never know It's like trying to work out. What are they trying to work out these days?
Well, it's always that thing. It's like, you know, you never go, right, well, that's it, I've cracked stand up. Because you're only as good as your last gig.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? You've never... You know, go, right, I know how to do this is up. I'll be fucking perfect from here on in.
It's so up and down. Me and Amy were talking about as well, like the adrenaline in it as well. Like it's so bad for you. Like even if you don't know you're getting adrenaline, you're getting that rush of adrenaline every night, and that fucks you up.
Yep.
Like
rush of adrenaline if you're driving loads as well. You know, I mean, I'll have all that adrenaline, get in the car, got a 4-hour drive,
and
drinking Red Bull. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
And I'm like,
you come in, you're like
wired to the
I
fucking
can never
moon.
sleep. When I get home, I'm just like, I'm wide awake. I'm shattered, but I'm actually just, I'm not going to sleep for another 3 hours easy.
I know. Yesterday I was in a writer's room all day, so I had just a writing day with other people, and I had no gig at night, and I was pure, this is how other people live their lives. Like they do all their work during the day, and then just got the whole night to just chill. I'm just like,
weird.
I know, it did feel weird. To start with, I was like, this is fucking brilliant. I'm not doing stand up anymore. I'm just going to. And then within about an hour, I was like, I'm bored.
Yeah, won't go now.
I feel like,
I did a week of gigs where it was during the day and I had to get up in the morning.
Aye.
And it was me and Kerry Marks, and we just like, by day 2, we were like, how do people do this every day? Get up in the morning. Get up in the morning at the same time, have breakfast and go to work. It's just fucking horrible.
Have you ever filmed anything as well? They get you up at like fucking 5 in the morning and stuff.
Horrific.
Aye, and you're like, this is a hellish life.
Yeah.
This is horrible.
Yeah, if you've got to be on set for something.
Aye, and they keep you waiting there. Like, we'll get you in at 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
You're not until like 2 in the afternoon, and you've just got to like hang about, and it's actually I wouldn't like to say that. I would do like if I was making. I wouldn't like to do that forever.
No, but I mean the money. If the money was right,
aye.
Honestly, anything.
Aye.
No principles when it comes to that.
Same. I know. You stay bit.
Everyone's got a price.
Yeah, I know. Mine's isn't very high either.
Yeah. Mine's gone up a bit, but not much.
Oh God,
it's pretty affordable.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever seen a ghost or anything?
No, but one genuinely spooky thing. So my mum died before any of my kids were born. So, in fact, 2 weeks before my son was born. Bless her.
Oh God, that's a shame.
I used to have a line about it. She always said she'd rather die than be a granny. Nailed it.
That's funny.
Absolutely nailed it. So, but when Rory was he was just walking. So maybe 18 months, something like that. And we were toddling along, and he was taking forever, toddle, and he kept stopping and pointing. And I was like, what are you pointing at? And he's like, lady.
Oh no.
And I was like, where? It's like, lady.
Oh no.
Who? And then I was just like, come on, shush now, come on. And then you just like pointed at this fucking lady. And when we got home, and there's pictures of my mum and the thing, you're like, lady.
Oh my God.
I was like, fuck off. No. And I don't know if he's just going late. But yeah, I was like,
how did you feel? Were you like, because I'm always like, I don't care if I loved you.
Yeah.
You're my dad's dead, and like, I'm like, just don't come back and see me. No, I don't want to see you.
Yeah,
right?
no, absolutely.
Just pure, I love you.
Yeah, but don't
fucking freak me out.
So that,
go and see somebody else, right?
Yeah. So that one, both him and my mum. So my mum died before my dad. And when I was staying in Wrestle-Rig, I borrowed his car. I can't remember, I think we'd gone for lunch or something anyway. I borrowed his car, took it at my flat, and then he phoned me and was like, I think I've left my glasses in the car, darling. Can you go and check? So I went and had a look. I was like under the seat, and I was like, no, Dad, sorry, Dad, must be something there, not there. Phone call, 3 o'clock in the morning. He's like, go and check the car. They're left-hand side passenger seat, back left-hand side, they're there. And I was like, Dad, I've already been, they're not there. Just go, back, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, fucking middle of the night. Okay, went and checked. Exactly what he said there was.
Really?
And I was like, right, this is fucking weird.
Because they weren't there?
They weren't there, but they were there when he told me to. And I was like, how did you know where they were? And he went, your mum told me. So there's 2 things.
Oh my
I was like,
God.
you said, he said, no. He said, I woke up and your mum told me where my glasses were.
Oh my God.
And the thing that's weird
fact,
about that is that it's kind of like a standing joke in our family. Dad always used to leave his glasses. My mum always, Douglas, you know, yeah.
So now I've changed my mind because I lose things all the time. So if there's any ghosts,
I know.
Where are they?
So, yeah.
just help me find my keys for time and time. Give me a wee hint.
That's cool. I love things like that.
I love things like that. And,
I love
do you know
it as
what I mean?
well.
And I don't believe in an afterlife or heaven or hell, eh? But sometimes you just kind of go, oh, that's nice. It'd be quite nice to think. I'd like to think there's something.
Yeah.
I'd like more to life than this.
I know.
This can't just be it.
I know. I'd like to think there's something as well, but I'm just like, well, I don't know and I'll never know. So, but like spooky things, I'm actually a shite bag, but I like to hear about this stuff.
Yeah.
Like
this one of the weirdest. This isn't that. It was weird at the time. It's ridiculous, like unexplained. But when I still lived with me and Ethan's dad were. Well, I was still with my husband. Ethan was young, maybe about 1 or something. And it was, we lived in this flat and I came in one afternoon and I just like sat down and went, you know, like a big kind of like exaggerated sigh. I can't remember why. And then he done it to like take the mickey at me. And then it was as if, so we had a couch over the side and say there was like a couch there. It was as if there was somebody there, just kind of went, like,
oh my God.
done it. Like, so, and we were just like,
what the fuck?
I was like, did you hear it? Like, did you hear that? And it was like,
just a pure bold ghost.
Aye. And then I was like, there's a ghost here taking the cunt out of me. Like, it was just weird. Like, you know what I mean? We were just, he was like, must have been like the couch or something. I'm like, how could it be the couch? Like, how could the couch? It was like, it was a definite, like, it was a sigh, just like the sigh that both of us had just done, but like by somebody who we couldn't like see, like nobody was there. And it was just so weird. And sometimes I think about it and I'm like, what was that? Like, it's so
Who do you
weird.
think it was?
I don't know.
Someday we are saying
It's probably me for like the future being like this is where you should have decided to leave him. Like fucking hell. I don't know, but it was dead weird. Just dead weird.
That is weird.
What's weird?
I do like things like that.
No, so do I. Until I'm myself, then I'm
I know.
So before we go, we've got what's the date?
The 30th of October.
30th.
So the night before Halloween, hence
The Halloween episode.
We're going to be wearing these hats probably.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we'll bring along. In fact, take it away. You
style costumes.
That's a
Lovely.
gift.
I don't even know. I didn't even look at myself in that, but
I think it's your new look.
it's darling.
So we're the 30th at 8 p.m. at McChuills. Jojo will be headlining, and me and Amanda will be there with a bunch of other lassies. So
Yeah.
I come along.
I will be at the dentist in the morning and have had a
that's
tooth
right.
extraction, so
You're going to be high.
I will be slurring my words once for once, not because of alcohol. So just
We're going to make you duke for apples with a numb mouth.
So because it's before Halloween, I'm gonna dress up.
I'm going to dress up, and we're going to give a prize to the best dressed audience member.
So dress up. It's a really good prize.
Yes, and we'll be doing a wee Halloween activities as well.
Aye.
So
Just
come along.
for a wee laugh. Come along. It's only a
Okay.
£5. Tickets there's quite a few tickets sold actually already.
Aye.
So get a ticket. Don't.
That can be a
don't miss
Halloween night out.
Yeah.
All right,
Be
well.
silly.
I look forward to that.
Hey, too.
See you later.
Bye. See you later.
Never know how to end these things.